Hello students, how are you? Okay, today we are going to discuss on the topic broad study and thrust of human geography as well as fields and subfields of human geography. Generally, the question comes in our mind when the human geography was started, how and when it was developed. To query about this question, we can say the human geography have a long temporal continuum through the approaches to articulate them have changed over time. The dynamism of approaches and thus shows the vibrant nature of the discipline. Earlier, people had very little knowledge, very little interaction between different societies, and the knowledge about each other was knowledge, interaction, everything is in limited. Uh, After that, as technology developed, human requirements of human being increased, so they moved from one place to another and explored the various resources, discovered the different places. Accordingly, geography developed. People described their journeys, described about the journeys, and also various things what they observed. So we can divide the development of human geography in different periods, and in different periods there were different approaches of the human geography. See it. First period, you can say the early colonial period. You know the colonial period, British time. Early colonial period. What happened? In this time, the main approach of human geography was exploration and description. What is the feature? Imperial and trade interests prompted the discovery and exploration of new areas. You know the imperialist countries, they moved new areas particularly for the resources. For the resources, they explored the different area, they discovered the different routes, sea routes. Okay, so the encyclopedic description of the area formed an important aspect of the geographer's account. Similarly, in the later colonial period, the approaches has been changed. Now it is regional approach. Regional approach. What happened in the previous period? We generally explored the different areas and described what is found in different areas where the different places is located. Now they started to elaborate description of all aspects of regions were undertaken. The idea was that all the regions were part of a whole. So understanding the parts in totally would lead to an understanding of the whole. The description of the areas in Europe, what are the features of Europe, what are the features of North America, Africa, or Asia, or the India, like that. Region wise, they described it. In the third period, 1930s through the interwar period, now they started differentiate between the areas. Means, what was the approach? areal differentiation. They compare the items, or you can say the resources or the nature between two areas. The focus was on identifying the uniqueness of any region and understanding how and why it was different from others. Whether different mountains, different rivers, different soils are vary from one place to another. These were the main approach of human geography. Now, in 1950s and 60s, the approaches to study of human geography was a spatial organization. A spatial, we already discussed, means area wise, regional. In this period, use of computers and sophisticated statistical tools used. Laws of physics were often applied to map and analyze human phenomena. This phase was called the quantitative revolution. Remember it? 1950s and 1960s. This phase was called as quantitative revolution. Maximum use of statistics includes in the geography. The main objective was the identify mappable patterns for different human activities. In 1970s, as time passes, the approaches has been changed. In 1970s, what happened? The approaches of to the study of human geography was the emergence of humanistic, radical and behavioral school. Discontentment with the quantitative revolution, geographers oppose the maximum use of quantitative statistics in geography. So, the discontentment with the quantitative revolution and its dehumanized manner of doing geography led to the emergence of three new schools of thought of human geography in 1970s. Human geography was made more relevant to the socio-political realities by the emergence of these schools of thought. These three: humanistic, radical, behavior. We have to discuss somewhat detail. Look here, 1970s. Welfare or humanistic approach. What does it mean? Basically, welfare or humanistic schools of thought in human geography was mainly concerned with different aspects of social well-being of the people. These include the aspects such as housing, health and education. Geographers have already introduced a paper as Geography of Social Well-being in the postgraduate curriculum. The another approach was radical approach, in which radical schools employed Marxian theory to explain the basic cause of poverty, deprivation and social inequality. Contemporary social problems were related to the development of capitalism. And the next one, behavioral approach. Behavioral school of thought laid great emphasis on lived experience and also on the perception of the space by social categories based on ethnicity, race and religion, etc. These three approaches is very important. You have to remember it. Now again we came back in 1990s. What was the change in the approaches? postmodernization in geography, postmodernism in geography, the great generalization of the applicability of universal theories of explain the human conditions were questioned. The importance of understanding each local context in its own right was emphasized. Okay, so these approaches is very important for short and long question as well as MCQs. So remember it. Now we are coming to fields and subfields of the human geography. The geography is interdisciplinary science where geography is related to all the natural and social sciences. Likewise, human geography is divided into different subfields and subfields further divided into human geography divided into fields, and these fields of human geography further divided into subfields, such as important fields are social geography, urban geography, political geography, population geography, settlement geography, and economic geography. And these subfields further divided into subfields like social geography further divided into behavioral geography, geography of social well-being, geography of leisure, cultural geography, gender geography, historical geography, and medical geography. And some feature or interface is also given, like behavioral geography is related to the psychology, geography of social well-being related to welfare economics, geography of leisure is related to sociology, cultural geography, anthropology, gender geography again is related to sociology, anthropology, women's studies, historical geography is related to history, medical geography is related to epidemiology. Urban geography is related to urban studies and planning. Political geography is further divided into subfields, electoral geography and military geography. Electoral geography is related to psephology, and military geography is related to military science. Now, the population geography is related to demography. Settlement geography is related to urban and rural planning. Economic geography, it is one of the important aspect of human geography, is further divided into different subfields. Basically, economic geography is related to economics, and its subfields: geography of resources related to resource economics, geography of agriculture related to agricultural science, geography of industry related to industrial economics, geography of marketing is related to business studies, economics and commerce, geography of tourism is related to tourism and travel management, geography of international trade related to international trade. So these are the fields and subfields of human geography and how they are related to other disciplines. Okay, dear students, today's chapter is complete now. Thank you very much.